most broadly speaking, I mean, whose record shows that they'll change Washington, make it work on behalf of people? I mean, if you look at what I've done, both for the, the state as a whole, the areas that I've operated in, I've got things done on a bipartisan basis that have made a difference. The energy bill with the ethanol and biodiesel in it, which is going to give us energy independence and bring down the cost of energy. The methamphetamine bill, which is reducing the number of meth labs. The prescription drug bill that I worked very hard to get. And the fact of the matter is 700,000 Missouri seniors are enjoying benefits under that bill, and nobody has to go to bed at night now wondering whether they're going to have to choose between food and prescription drugs. And there are issues about the thing that I want to make better, but we got that done after years and years, and JC remembers, because they tried in the Congress for years and years to pass that, and we got that done. Now, specifically for the African American community, I listened and went to Congress to fight for the things that the community thinks are important. We got the sickle cell disease bill. We got a good minority contracting bill. I've gotten through the Senate a technical grant program for historically black colleges is very significant. Good civil rights bill. So, I think a representative listens and then serves. And I've tried to do that on things that make a difference for people here. Not some kind of either party's abstract kinds of ideology, but things that make a difference. And I think that's what the election's about. I don't think my opponent has a record that shows she can do that.
So is that what you, I guess the second question is, so what exactly is the choice, as you see it, that Missourians must decide in November?
Well, I think a choice between a person who has a record that shows they can do that and they'll follow up on what they say and they'll do it, and somebody, elections are about choices. It isn't personal when I say this, but somebody who not only doesn't have that record, but in fact disagreed. Had she been in the Senate, we wouldn't have the prescription drug bill, wouldn't have the methamphetamine bill, wouldn't have the ethanol provisions, and we wouldn't have a lot of the things for the community here that I've championed, not necessarily because she disagreed with me, but just because, I championed them, and there's no reason to believe she would have. So elections make a difference, and I'm just asking people, who do you think is going to go up there and consistently fight to make that system work for you? And I think that's more important, as JC was saying, than party or within limits even ideology. It's just a question of what do you think that system ought to be doing.
Okay. Your race is going to share the ballot with two hot issues right now, the stem cell debate and the minimum wage increase in the state. The stem cell debate, you did take a position on that. What exactly was the position that...
Well, I'm opposed to human cloning. Okay, and the amendment would create a constitutional right to clone the earliest stages of human life, the human embryo. I'm just not in favor of that. I understand this is a personal decision. I made it after studying and talking to people on both sides. I encourage everybody to take a look at this and make their own decision. And I've tried to keep this out of politics. And I try to have some charity and respect for people who disagree with me, because this requires a delicate weighing of things. But it goes too far in the direction of human cloning for me.
Okay.
You have to actually go because he's
One more question.
Well, let's do the one more.
The second part of that was the minimum wage thing. You took a position when you did take a position on the stem cell thing. You said that part of it was because the local issue kind of coincided with the federal issue. It's not kind of the same situation.
And that's
there with the
fair enough. That's true. It's over the years, I don't generally take positions on state issues, including state ballot issues, especially because the voters are going to decide that. And I told the press I would take a position on the cloning thing, and I did. Now, in the case of the minimum wage, my position on that issue is well known. I have voted over and over and over again in the Congress for increases in the minimum wage because I want entry-level workers to get more money. It's pretty simple. I've also said somebody got to pay for that, and it's almost always small businesses. They're the ones who create the entry-level jobs generally. And so to help them pay for that, because I don't want them to take it out of other people's wages, and I don't want them to lay people off to pay for it, I've said let's link the minimum wage increase to assistance for small business. And I voted 4 times in the Senate alone for increases based on that. Now my opponent, we're both for the minimum wage increase. She's not for the assistance for small business. She won't vote for a minimum wage increase if it includes assistance for small business. And I think we ought to help both, and that's the difference between us.